Hey guys, how's it going? Distilled Noise here. I make minimal house music and videos for my YouTube channel Distilled Noise, and today I'm happy to be here to record a video for Tamira's channel. Thanks Razvan for inviting me and share a very simple trick on how to create backgrounds in your tracks. So let's get it started. Okay, so this track is a track that I'm working on. Is a remix for Durosai, and in the stems there was this vocal sample, a vocal phrase that sounds like this.
And even some sort of, it's game playing, you know, you're involved in the social game in which you're trying to figure out who...
So I decided to bring this and manipulate in some way to create a sort of background that sounds like this. Let's play it from the beginning.
Figure out who you're risk.
And in the context of the track, so you have these small pieces of that vocal phrase that comes in and out at different pitches. Basically, it's super simple. It's made with the simpler, where I put in the vocal sample, then the LFO that modulate the starting point of my sound source, and then the probabilistic sequencer by Alex Kidd that helps me to play different pitches, different notes in different points and with different pitches. So let's create it from scratch so you see the process of doing this kind of thing. So the first thing, I create a MIDI track, then I bring this vocal part and I drag it into the MIDI track. So the simpler opens up. I selected just a small piece of the whole vocal phrase that was sounding good to me. Be aware that you can use this technique with any type of sound material. So in this case it's a vocal, but you could use on something else, on some other kind of sounds if you want. Then we go open an LFO. You've probably seen something like this in other videos, I don't know. I think I've seen this from someone else. It's very simple. You just take the LFO and you start modulating the starting point. So every time, maybe this is a little bit too fast, but so every time that you press a note, the point of the sample that you're playing changes. It's always better to adjust a little bit attack, decay, sustain, and release in order to have a gentler sound when you play the notes. For example, the attack, it's a bit too immediate, so I want it to be more short. I want it to be shorter, so it's gentler when you press the key. Second thing, the release, I want it to be a little bit longer, so it has a sort of tail. And the sustain, I will lower it a little bit, so after I stop pressing the key, the sound goes down in volume a little bit. So now we're going to add the touch with the wonderful probabilistic sequencer by Alex Kidd, which help us to create a sequence and to change the pitch of the sound that we play from time to time. So if you don't know how probabilistic sequencer works, it's super simple. It's one of my favorite sequencer from Alex Kidd bundle. You have first row sequencer steps, so you can switch on and off different steps. Second row and fourth row are pitch A and B, and the third row is the probability of playing pitch A or pitch B. From that, the name probabilistic sequencer. So super simple. The cool thing about this sequencer is the random button, so you can randomize every parameter. In this case, I don't think it's necessary to set a scale because the vocal sample, it's spoken, so you can play at every pitch you want. But if you use something more musical that has a scale, I suggest you to set that scale, and so the notes that the sequencer plays are in the right scale. So let's try to see how this sounds. So let's randomize again. Okay, so the first thing that I can see is that some of the pitches are a little bit too low, so I will raise them up to play higher pitch notes.
There are. Trying to figure out game and when sort of it's even so you're involved. It's an even who each other you're involved. Are.
The second thing that I want you to pay attention to is to try switching on and off different steps in order to reach the most musical solution, the most musical setting. Because sometimes, for example, having two steps on, two close steps on can sound a little bit too confusing. So maybe try to move and see what sounds better. So let's hear it in the context how it sounds. In my case, I didn't add anything to this chain, but you could make it more, fancy if you start adding some nice effects. So the first one that I want to try to add is the chorus. Chorus is one of my favorite effects on Ableton, and in this case could be very, very nice because it would spread a little bit the sound on the sides and make it softer, which is very, very cool for a background. So let's try to see how it sounds. You can clearly hear that it moves from being a mono sound to being a stereo sound. Second effect, you could add an echo or a delay. I still have to learn what's the difference between the two effects, but for this time I will add an echo. But I want to have a very short delay. And let's check it out. Without effects, with effects. And when the track starts, it really starts to be a background, and that's what I like. And that's it. So just 3 effects. Most of them are from Ableton. The only one external is Probabilistic sequencer. It's very inexpensive, so if you're interested in this plugin, you can definitely check it out. Also, remember that you can do this with any sound source that you have, so try to experiment, see what you come up with. And thanks for watching the video. I hope you find it interesting. Remember to like the video and subscribe to Tamira's channel. Also, if you want to take a look at my channel, just go over to Distilled Noise. And thanks Tamiras for having me, I really appreciate. And guys, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, bye bye.